Today, I'd like to take some time to reflect and discuss my journey so far in accepting and embracing my aromantic identity. So, a little background on my relationship with romance and with where I thought my life was headed before I learned about aromanticism. I grew up really wanting a relationship because I wanted to emulate the characters that I read about in books and saw in TV and movies. I grew up watching all these romance shows, the teen drama type shows like One Tree Hill and The OC and Degrassi. And I always thought that my life, especially once I got to high school, would wind up being like that. And I tried to emulate that in high school. I had girlfriends in high school. I remember some actually having moments like what I would have seen in those TV shows. I remember in one case, a girlfriend that I had in high school, we had a number of those moments, from a very intimate moment between the two of us where she played for me her brand new ringtone that she put just for me on her phone. Keep in mind, this is like 2007, so just to give you an idea of the time frame I'm talking about here. And it was the song Stolen by Dashboard Confessional, and the words are, "You have stolen my heart." And I thought that was very sweet, and it always stuck with me, but I realize now, looking back, that I never really understood what that was like, to feel like someone had stolen your heart. I never really got it. There was another time, our first kiss, I remember my friend who drove us to a basketball game was blaring her horn at us and had her headlights on us because she was waiting for us to get in the car and leave. And we were kind of having this moment in the headlights, and the first snowfall of the year was happening in that moment. And I remember the snow falling in her hair, and I remember kissing her, but I don't remember feeling anything aside from, I really like this moment. This is the kind of moment I always thought I was supposed to have. But the thing about a lot of the relationships I had growing up, even into adulthood, almost all of them ended within 3 to 4 months. I only had one that lasted longer than that. One girlfriend that I had, we were together for 15 months. But the interesting thing about that particular relationship is, of all of the past relationships I had, she's also the only person that I still talk to. She and I remain phenomenal friends. She is somebody that I can turn to no matter what I need, however I'm feeling, and she knows that she can do the same for me. And I always thought, ever since learning that I'm aromantic, that maybe that's because she's just so much better for me as a friend. And maybe that's why our relationship worked as long as it did, because there was still that layer to our dynamic. So I discovered that I'm asexual in 2019, and it wasn't long after that, maybe about a year after that in 2020, that I started engaging with other aces online. And it was through that I started to get an early glimpse at what aromantic looked like. But my understanding of aromantic wasn't quite accurate. It took me a while to finally learn about the aromantic spectrum. I thought early on, because this is how it was presented to me in the handful of posts that I saw, it's no one's fault that that's just how it came to me in the timeline that I was reading. But my understanding was, you experience no romantic attraction, therefore don't want a relationship. But I did want a relationship. And I thought aromantic meant that you didn't want romance and didn't like romance. But I did like romance. I wanted romance. So being aromantic didn't make sense to me. So I still felt like something was wrong with me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Why couldn't I have this thing that I want? I couldn't understand why I couldn't feel the way that these characters felt. Why, when I kissed my girlfriend in the snow, why didn't I feel what all these characters talked about feeling? What even my friends have talked about feeling? Why, in the 15 months that I was with my ex-girlfriend, who is still one of my very best friends, why didn't I have some of those butterflies in the stomach kind of moments? I never really understood why I wasn't experiencing what everyone described as romantic attraction. I was certainly attracted to her in some way, and I couldn't figure out what that way was, but it wasn't romance. So those early misconceptions really put a halt on my journey. I'd found the word, but I hadn't found what it really meant yet. About another year went by before I really started to learn about aromanticism as a spectrum. I'd kind of learned about asexuality early on being a spectrum. I learned about demisexuality and gray sexual, but I didn't learn about the whole spectrum for a while. And once I learned about that, I started thinking, does that apply to aromantic? And I started looking into it. I started uncovering micro labels and how aromantic can look for other people. And I came across two of them: agoromantic and cupioromantic. Agoromantic means that you don't experience romantic attraction, but you still like the concept of romance. And cupioromantic means that you experience little to no romantic attraction, but you still want a romantic relationship. That sounded like me. I never got those feelings, and I didn't understand what they meant. I didn't understand how someone could say that I stole their heart, because I didn't know what that meant. To me, that was just words. But I still wanted those things, and I wanted to know what that was like, and I wanted those relationships, and I wanted those moments. So those two words made a lot of sense to me. So in time, I started to understand that there is a massive difference between realizing something and accepting it. I realized that I'm on the aromantic spectrum, that those are my micro labels. That's my way of feeling and being aromantic. That's what it is for me. But it didn't mean that I accepted it yet. There was a delay in that part, and I'm sure there is for a lot of people. It took me some time to sit with it, and it took me some time to really examine what that meant for me, and I'm still learning what it means for me. I'm still very much a work in progress. I don't know what my future holds, and looking back at the expectations that I had before and the expectations that I felt were on me before, I've had to question, do I adjust them? Do I hold no expectations? I'm still figuring that out. But the point is, it's okay to take time to figure these things out. It's a journey. And what I've figured out so far has gotten me so far, but I'm not quite there yet, and that's perfectly fine. I have my good days, I have my bad days, I have my days where I can embrace who I am and be proud to be aromantic and to know who I am. And that certainly is there all the time, that I am proud to know who I am. I'm never ashamed of who I am. But there are days where I ask, why do I have to be aromantic? Why is this my journey? Why can't I have the things that I grew up thinking I wanted? The things that I still feel like I want. I still have days where I question if I'll ever have them. There's also days where I question, do I even want them? It's all a process. And it's okay to take time on that process. It's okay to take a step back. I haven't been on a date in going on 2.5 years. I'm okay with that. One adjustment I have made to my expectations is that if that is something that's going to happen for me, it's going to happen organically. Because I don't want to just keep forcing myself into it and hoping that it clicks. One thing I'm still working on is getting rid of the guilt that I feel sometimes over, did I waste other people's time? Did I waste those 15 months that I was with her? Did I waste the time of other girls who could have been on dates with other guys? honestly, I know in my heart that I didn't. I know in my heart that it was as much a part of my journey as it was theirs. Because everything, I truly believe, happens for some reason to get us to where we're headed. Because we wouldn't go to where we're headed if we didn't stop there first. But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It's okay for it to hurt. And it's okay to question. One thing that has helped me, though, has been finding a support system for myself. Finding friends that accept me for who I am. Finding fellow arrows out there. And swapping stories and swapping how we view the world. I've felt a lot less alone than I used to feel. And that has really helped. I can't thank this community enough for embracing me, because it's allowed me to start embracing myself. How are you doing with your aromantic journey? Are you still working on accepting yourself? Are you working on embracing yourself? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to share some stories with you and hear your stories too. Don't forget to like and share this video. And thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story. I can't wait to hear yours. Let's continue to learn and grow together.